Folks, in my 20 years in the league, I've never seen anything like this happen in the offseason. No, I'm not talking about a random trade rumor, a blockbuster signing, or some minor roster shakeup. What I'm about to reveal could shake the NFL to its core, something so unprecedented, so explosive, that it's been kept under absolute lock and key. And I guarantee you, what you're about to hear is just the beginning. There's a secret here, hidden behind layers of NFL smokescreens, and I've uncovered enough intel to tell you. This is only the tip of the iceberg. Something massive is brewing, and it involves the Philadelphia Eagles, a player you thought was untouchable, and a pipeline of power moves that could redefine the entire league landscape. But before I drop the full scoop, I need you to understand, if you're serious about being in the know, if you want to be ahead of the curve and see the NFL's next seismic shift, hit that subscribe button right now. Like this video. Smash the notification bell. Because what I'm about to share isn't for everyone. It's for those who want to be the first to know, to understand, and to witness history. You're either on the inside or you're left in the dark when it all hits. Make your choice. Are you ready for what's coming? Because what I'm about to lay out will blow your mind, and it's only just beginning. Now, let's talk about the city of Philadelphia. The Eagles, an organization that's been on a warpath, reshaping their roster, tweaking their strategy, and building a future that screams championship. Nick Sirianni has been orchestrating a revolution, leading a team with the kind of grit and hunger that makes rivals tremble. But behind the scenes, a different game is being played, one of whispers, deals, and ultra-secret negotiations that have NFL insiders on edge. Why? Because sources tell me that the Eagles have a plan so bold, so audacious, that it could change the balance of power not just in the NFC, but across the entire league. And what's fueling all this? It's the pursuit of a game-changing asset, a player who just a few years ago was considered a rising star destined for greatness. Pat Freiermuth, yes, the Pittsburgh Steelers' tight end. But this isn't just about acquiring a talented player. This is about a strategic move that could elevate a championship contender to a new stratosphere. And I've got details. Details that most mainstream media are too blind, too naive, or simply too restricted to see. Let's walk through what makes this story so unbelievable. First, the context. Freiermuth, a 27-year-old tight end from Penn State, has been quietly piling up stats that turn heads. Over his career, he's caught 261 passes for 2,676 yards and 22 TDs, numbers that any NFL team would drool over. But what truly stands out are his recent performances. In 2025, he appeared in all 17 games, catching 41 passes for 486 yards and 4 touchdowns. Reliable, consistent, and a perfect target for any quarterback. His size, 6'5", 258 pounds, and his nose for the end zone make him a matchup nightmare. But here's the thing. Freiermuth is locked up through 2028 on a very manageable deal. His extension, a 4-year, $48.4 million pact signed in September 2024, was designed to give his current team flexibility while keeping him as a core piece. The recent restructure in 2026 dropped his cap hit for this year to about $6.94 million, giving the Steelers some breathing room. Yet, despite that, whispers around the league suggest the Eagles see him as the missing piece in their offensive puzzle. And it's not just idle talk. It's an orchestrated plan, set in motion with multiple layers of covert meetings and silent negotiations. Now, why the Eagles? Well, after their Super Bowl LIX victory, an epic 34-30 win over the Kansas City Chiefs, they're not content with just a single title. Sirianni's squad is hungry for dominance, and they're eyeing the next evolution of their offense. Jalen Hurts is already a superstar, but they want to surround him with weapons that make defenses tremble. They crave that one player, someone who can stretch the field, create mismatches, and make every single defensive coordinator lose sleep. Freiermuth isn't just a talented tight end. He's the perfect complement for their high-octane offense, especially with the evolution of their scheme under Sean Mannion, whose creative play calls are already giving opponents nightmares. But what makes this move so complex? The logistics. The Steelers are fiercely protective of Freiermuth, who's blossomed into a cornerstone of their offense. They're not just going to give him away for peanuts. The trade package, from what I've heard, would involve multiple draft picks, possibly a first-rounder plus additional day 2 selections, and a player or two. Salary cap plays a role here, but the Eagles are experts at creative restructures, signing bonus maneuvers and roster gymnastics. They're prepared to make a splash, something that on paper looks almost impossible. Yet insiders confirm that the Eagles are willing to pay a premium because they see Freyermuth as the missing piece that can finally push them over the top. And the ripple effects? Conspiracy theories swirl. GMs whisper that the Steelers are genuinely intrigued by the idea of retooling around a new player, or perhaps even flipping Freyermuth for future assets. Meanwhile, the league's top teams are watching this silently, realizing that a trade of this magnitude could set a precedent. They're already positioning themselves for the next move, the next power shift. But hold on, here's where it gets even more intense. Sources close to the Eagles' operations reveal that the real impetus behind this move isn't just about immediate success. It's about sending a message. They want to establish a dynasty with Jalen Hurts at the core, surrounded by a new wave of offensive talent. A weapon like Freyermuth could unlock a new level of consistency and explosiveness that defenses simply can't handle. And behind closed doors, the whispers are loud. If this trade goes through, the NFL's landscape as we know it will be unrecognizable by the start of the season. Now, let's get into the nitty-gritty of how this could happen, the trade mechanics. The Eagles could leverage draft capital, perhaps their future first-rounder, in addition to a promising young player, like a draft pick that's high in the second or third round. They might even throw in a veteran to sweeten the deal. Salary cap-wise, the Eagles are masters. By restructuring contracts of veterans like Fletcher Cox or even future restructures for Hurts, they could clear enough cap space to absorb Freyermuth's remaining deal. On the Steelers' side, they are rumored to be interested in high-value picks, especially given their rebuild mode after some disappointing seasons. They're also reportedly open to a package that includes a young defensive player, perhaps a cornerback or linebacker, who can contribute immediately. The winners in this deal. The Eagles get their borderline elite tight end, an offensive game-changer, and a chance to finally break through in the postseason. The Steelers, if they accept the package, gain significant draft capital and potential future assets to rebuild around. The league's observers. They're watching the dominoes fall, knowing that once this trade starts, it could unleash an avalanche of moves across the NFL. Now, the scheme fit. Freyermuth is a perfect match for Sirianni's offense, which thrives on attacking multiple levels of the field. His reliable hands, ability to find openings in zone coverage, and threat in the red zone make him an ideal target for Jalen Hurts. Imagine a lineup with Dallas Goedert still in the fold, but Freyermuth stretching defenses vertically, sneaking into the middle of the field, and becoming that YAC, yards after catch, monster. The combination of their skills could redefine what's possible in Philadelphia's attack, making it almost impossible for defenses to game plan against both in tandem. Comparison-wise, think of Freyermuth as a more reliable version of a young Rob Gronkowski. Huge, physical, with exceptional hands and red zone prowess. While not as explosive as some of the recent game breakers, his consistency and high-volume production, paired with the right quarterback, make him a nightmare for defenses. The Eagles' offensive line, already one of the league's best, would give him all the protection he needs to operate at full speed, exploiting those mismatches that teams dread. What's the downside? There's always risk. Freyermuth's contract could become a burden if he doesn't replicate his production or fit seamlessly into Sirianni's system. The Steelers might regret parting ways with a cornerstone player if the trade doesn't pan out. And the league's cap dynamics mean this move could set off a chain reaction, affecting future free agency, draft strategies, and team-building plans across the NFL. But let me tell you, my gut, my sources, and the league whispers all point to one thing. This isn't just a rumor. It's a calculated, meticulously planned operation. The Eagles are quietly positioning themselves as the new kings of the NFC, and Freyermuth could be the missing piece that turns chance of Super Bowl or bust into reality. So what's next? Watch for leaked trade talks, perhaps a last-minute snag, or some cryptic hints from insiders. The NFL doesn't sleep, and neither do the teams trying to rewrite history. But I guarantee you this, if this trade happens, it will go down as one of the most groundbreaking moves in recent league history. The ripple effects will be felt for years, redefining what it means to build a championship roster. And you, my viewers, those who saw this first, will be remembered as the true insiders, the ones who knew what was coming long before everyone else. Remember where you heard it first, because this story isn't over yet, it's just beginning. And trust me, what's coming next will be even more shocking, more unprecedented, and more electrifying than anything you've seen before. Stay tuned, because the NFL's next chapter is about to be written by the boldest minds and the most daring moves. The question is, are you ready to witness history?